Hello, you're listening to Reedy Geeks, a Walt Disney World podcast. My name is Andrew, and I'm joined today by the Jungle Cruise boat naming supervisor, JJ.
I mean, it is one of my gifts now.
Well, and you're very original. I want to point that out. You're very creative and original.
Yes,
Last episode,
I know,
I doubted you.
the Limpopo Larry.
Oh, right. I was like, what context are we pulling from here? Okay.
And the talent manager for, who's that music guy? Oh, yeah, John Williams, Sean.
It's embarrassing.
Had me there. I thought you were messing up.
Embarrassing.
And our guest for today, Reedy Gal Sam.
Hi, everyone.
If you have a good title for my co-host after listening to this episode, please send in your ideas to ReedyGeeks@gmail.com. In today's episode, JJ and Reedy Gal Sam share takeaways from their most recent trip. Here on Reedy Geeks, we love sharing our Disney World trips with you, but we're not here to give you the play-by-play of every ride we went on or what time we mobile ordered lunch. Instead, we like to focus on the big picture, and we call those the takeaways. These are the things that stand out, the strategies that worked or didn't, and the moments that shaped the trip. Last week, you heard that JJ and Sam were heading down to Disney World, and this week, we're going too, in a way. They're back from their trip and they're ready to share their takeaways. Hopefully their experiences give you something useful to think about for your own future visits.
Wow. Oh, okay. I mean, I guess there's nothing left to do but to jump right into it, right?
Just dive in.
Your first takeaway.
Okay. So we had a bit of a unique experience. I know we love getting off our plane and getting on the first ride of the trip and hearing Buddy Dyer welcome us. But I did not have that experience this time because we drove down.
I would have drove straight to MCO, bought a ticket, gone through security.
Gone through TSA lines. And so the first takeaway is driving down is fun. And 1B, Buc-ee's rules.
Oh, Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
All right, so this isn't really a Disney takeaway.
No.
Just a South in
It's a
general.
It's a trip takeaway.
Trip takeaway.
That's true.
Yeah.
So we didn't drive straight through. We did have a couple stops, which was nice. Definitely put in a few stops. Don't try to drive straight through. I feel like that would be insane.
Unless you had like a full car of drivers.
Isn't that what you guys did back
Yeah.
when you went down?
We drove straight through.
Yeah, we did stop. We stopped at a hotel. And you know, I love a road trip. So it was really fun.
Yeah. Stopped at Buc-ee's, stopped at Peach World.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah,
Peach World in Georgia. It's just all peach. Oh, I think that salsa's still in your car. Believe it or not.
Cooked.
But yeah, it was fun.
90 degrees today.
It was rough. So yeah, definitely would do that again.
So what's with Buc-ee's? Why does everyone love Buc-ee's?
I think because it's so much bigger. Like people have now been able to experience things like Wawa and Sheetz.
Yeah.
And it is kind of similar.
Like in Wawa and Sheetz are northeastern
Gas station chains that have like
Larger than usual.
selections
mini
with
marts.
and hot food options and good sandwiches and stuff. So
Quick Check.
yeah.
Quick Check is like our equivalent of Wawa.
Yeah.
Yes, that's another one. But I would say that Buc-ee's is better than any of them because their hot food is like Texas barbecue forward, and they make their own tortillas, and you can get brisket and egg tacos in the morning, and it's outrageously good.
That does sound pretty good.
Yeah. So I would trade my like dozen closest 7-Elevens for a Buc-ee's if anyone from the Buc-ee's chain is listening.
It's just nice to have something actually be worth the hype. I feel like a lot of things are
Yeah.
hyped up online, and
Yeah.
then you go and you're kind of like, ooh, this was okay.
I
But
was
Buc-ee's
so,
really is worth
immensely
it.
let down by In-N-Out the first time I had it. And I was
You know what? I was too.
That's what this was all about?
Well, especially
get
because
it.
the fries are terrible there.
Yeah.
I think the appeal to In-N-Out is mostly that the burger itself is close to on par with like a Shake Shack kind of
I think
burger.
Shake Shack's way better than
But
In-N-Out.
Shake Shack is better, but it's also trying to do something else. That's a
true.
much
Yeah.
more elevated, more expensive. Like the In-N-Out burger's cheap.
Yeah.
But But yeah, Bucky's lives up to the hype, and the store is tremendous. It's like 3 or 4 times the size of a regular, like a Wawa. Like you walk in, it looks like the size of a supermarket. And they have like a department store with like Bucky's logos all over, like anything you would need, like a cooler, shirts, like basically anything that you were like, oh, I forgot to pack that. There's probably at Bucky's, and there's a Bucky logo on it.
But there's also like a Hallmark store portion. Like you walk in and, when you go to like a paper store or Hallmark and it's like trinkets and mats and flags, that's the other half, not Bucky's. Like it's regular, normal stuff.
That's kind of like the beginning of a what's the restaurant where it has all the knickknacks? A Cracker Barrel.
Yes,
like the beginning of a Cracker Barrel. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
There is a little bit of Cracker Barrel in it too. Yeah.
We actually do have a question from Mike and Gina from Long Island.
Okay.
And their question was, did you stop at the south of the border?
No, we skipped south of the border.
We drove as
went
fast as
last time.
possible past it.
we were not fans of Pedro.
We went last time. We did go the first time we drove down.
Yeah, we
south
did.
Of the border.
Were there more or less billboards advertising Pedro?
Less,
right?
Taking
I know
taking
for a
some
fact
down?
because we were driving, and I said to Jay, "Did we miss it?" Because last time I remember there being dozens of
They
billboards.
hit you in the face with the billboards.
And this time there's only about 3 before we hit south of the
that's
border.
sad.
It was
going
only when you're
down.
close. I think it was like, because they have them start at like 200 miles.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
And then they progressively get more and more and more. They're like a mile apart at the same time.
Yeah, it just had like the last like 4 or 5. It was just like really like, it was like 10 miles to Bucky's, 5 miles to Bucky's, 2 miles to Bucky's. It wasn't like...
Oh, Bucky's.
No, do you mean south of the
South
border?
of the border.
Sorry, south of the border.
Yeah.
Bucky's also has a lot of signs,
Yeah.
but they're more tasteful. They're like funny and witty. South of the border is like a stock image
Yeah.
of a child, and it's like you can buy picture frames. I'm like,
Bucky-
that's a weird thing for them to want, but okay.
Bucky's definitely has like a Gen Z marketing team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And South of the border has not updated theirs in 25 years. So-
Longer, I think.
I would,
really
I would take the
just-
over on that.
yeah, that's fair. That is fair.
Okay, so
Well, I have a trip takeaway that I think
from
it's going to start before. Mine has to do with Disney Springs.
okay, well,
But do you have one before?
sure.
that?
No, go for it.
You can.
No,
I feel bad.
why would you feel that?
I don't know, like,
you're
if you have one.
you're a Reedy Gal. You're
That's
allowed
fair.
to speak.
Reedy Gal.
You're right. So my first takeaway actually has to do with Disney Springs. So the past few times that we went to Disney Springs, it would be during the day. So we'd kind of go after we checked in, maybe like get an early dinner, and it was just fine, right? Like it was like an outdoor mall, like a Tanger outlet. We went at night this time, and the vibes are completely different. It was so fun. It was like a party.
Disney Springs
Yeah.
rules.
And I can't even begin to tell you. I was like, I wish we had more time here.
Yeah.
Like it was the artist that they had was like a country artist. There were people line dancing. It was at the Hangar Bar. It was packed.
Jock
like right
Lindsay's
next door.
Hangar Bar.
Like hundreds of people. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
I was kind of
There's
upset
like an
that.
outdoor theater right there.
Yes.
Yes, in
yeah.
between the boathouse and Jock Lindsay's, there's a little stage, and there were people line dancing. It was so
But I
much
feel like
fun.
during the day they have like kids orchestras there or like
No, not
dance.
there. It's in a
Maybe
different
not there.
spot.
Outside of
At
World
a
of
different
Disney.
spot.
Yeah.
But there, I had never seen any. So I don't even know if this is maybe other people already know. But for me, I was like, I would build in time just to be at Disney Springs at night.
You got to have
Yeah.
a night at Disney
You
Springs.
have to.
Absolutely.
I'd never had one
Yeah.
before this trip.
And I don't do that enough. Whenever we go, we always make it a Disney Springs day. But no, it should be like maybe rope drop something in the morning and then go to Disney Springs at night.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, especially with all the construction in Animal Kingdom, maybe an Animal Kingdom morning and then a Disney Springs evening.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. I like that takeaway. So my first takeaway about Disney specifically is, did you know that you can abuse the MDE app if you are friends with people that have PhotoPass?
We did know that. Well,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, Andrew is a season pass holder, and I wanted to test something out and see if he would be able to download my pictures without buying PhotoPass ahead of time. And it seems like it works, but not in a full way. He didn't see all of the pictures that we
Yeah.
took.
I'm going to check and see if maybe I have a setting on or something like that, or maybe they'll come later on.
Maybe.
How? That's proprietary.
My next takeaway is we used Lightning Lane to our advantage really, really well. The longest wait we had was actually on something that we did use the Lightning Lane for. It was for Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. My first time on it, because I bought 2 Lightning Lanes for it, and I used Sam's Magic Band. I double banded.
Nice.
And I did 2 laps. But the first lap, I went through all the pre-show and the line, and it was about 35 minutes through all the pre-shows and stuff. Pretty standard. And then I was the next person to board, and the gates never opened. The car came up, and they sent it empty. It was like I waited where I was the next person to load for about 12 minutes. So it was like almost 50 minutes to wait for the first time, and then I had to do another lap. So
Had to
Had to
get in there and do it.
I mean, why not, right?
They spent the money.
Yeah.
So picture it, 94 degrees. I'm alone in Epcot. Jeez. For over an hour waiting, I get a chocolate mousse, make it all the way to Norway or China.
Say, you should have posted up somewhere.
And then I called Reedy Gal Sam on FaceTime because I was like, I knew she was working from home. We had a little chat, but I got a few drinks. It was nice, but
there you go.
It took a while.
it was the start of Cool Kid Summer. You could have been a cool kid.
Well, one of the photo guys, I was like, it's just me, because I was in line with like a bunch of families and like couples. I'm like, just me. He goes, nothing wrong with that, hon. I'm like, no, like my husband's on a ride. And there's nothing wrong with being alone. But I was like, I
have a husband.
just waiting online. But everyone was very nice. I definitely used the photo pass a lot, the trip.
Okay, so Lightning Lanes. I really do think I've heard a rumor that they've changed the ratio at which they're pulling the lightning lanes. I believe that is definitely true.
Yeah.
Because in Guardians, I was definitely waiting in that big room. I wasn't going straight into the pre-show like we would have in the past.
Yeah. How long do you think it added?
10 minutes. Yeah.
I would definitely take lower standby queues over.
I mean, yeah, but that is another interesting point. I do think Lightning Lane is still worth it, and I like how a la carte it is, because it can really help someone maximize their vacation and put their money in only what they deem worth it, as opposed to maybe feeling stuck that you can buy all of it or none of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then speaking of crowds, overall, the crowds were only on the rides.
Oh,
the
okay.
ride lines were fairly long, especially at Epcot. Epcot had some long lines. Guardians was like a 90-minute wait when
For standby?
Wow.
Yeah, for standby. And they were pulling at that ratio.
Yeah.
So it was very crowded, but there were no lines for quick service and food.
None.
And
So around the countries, the festival?
Yeah, festival booths, no lines.
It was nice.
That's what happened to me in April.
Were there lines for the rides though?
Yeah, there were lines for the rides. I guess we didn't wait for Guardians, and so I don't know how long the line was for Guardians. We didn't notice that, but we didn't do Remy or Frozen because they were just too long.
Okay.
We balked at those. So that's so funny. I wonder why people aren't going for the festival booths. Could it be that the festival booth people are probably more local people, and locals are getting like sucked up into Epic Universe?
Yeah, I was going to say that you were there at the public grand opening of Epic Universe.
Correct.
So it might have been a slower Disney week, because a lot of people might have gotten passes for day 1 or day 2 at Epic Universe.
And even if okay, maybe they weren't at Epic Universe at that time, but they're going to Epic Universe in 2 days.
So they're not going to Disney.
They're not going to go to
Right.
Disney in this day.
Certainly not spend money at a food booth when they've got a whole new park to try.
Is
Right,
Flower and
exactly.
Garden? I know Flower and Garden has a lot of the same booths that Food and Wine has. Is Flower and Garden as popular of a food and drink booth festival as Food and Wine is?
No.
So maybe when we were there experiencing the crazy lines for both the bachelor parties, the lines were crazy because it was Food and Wine Festival, and we went on Fridays and Saturdays, I think.
I also wonder if, because it was Memorial Day on Monday, like a lot of people tend to take off the Friday before, so I wonder if no one really took off the Tuesday. I don't know because we were there Tuesday, right? Was Epcot?
Epcot was
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
And I also suspect that because of the time of year it was, where it was Memorial Day, that it was a lot of families getting out of school. A lot of the country just finished school and they're going on these big trips. And I kind of now, in retrospect, wish I checked the lines at the food places that we wouldn't have gone to, the more chicken finger. And, like I didn't walk into Cosmic Rays to see what the waits were like there.
Right.
Because if it was just people that were focused on going on rides, like it was families trying to go on rides and, have quick service and like maybe Chef Mickey's was slammed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's hard to tell because I have such a different, I do believe I was zigging where everyone else was zagging at some point. And at the Epcot day was certainly that because everybody was on the rides. It was a crowded park, but people weren't waiting online for drinks or food.
Would you agree that the longest wait was? I got coffee waiting to go into Animal Kingdom at Joffrey's. I think that was the longest we waited for food.
Pretty close to it.
It was like 15 minutes.
I like this. This is good news.
If this is what it's going to be like while all this construction is going on,
Totally fine with that.
I know, right?
Well, I mean, you were still also kind of pigeonholed into only being really able to go to Disney for long periods of time during the busiest times of the year.
I know, and that's what happened. We went at one of the single busiest times of the year, that April break.
Easter break.
Yeah,
break,
that was
spring break.
that is a. I'm now a little more versed in DVC points. Sorry, Sean. But that week that you stayed is the high. That was at Polynesian.
Yeah.
That and Christmas week were the two most expensive weeks to go.
Yes.
Of 2025.
Yep. And that they do that because that's what they anticipate the crowds.
Yeah.
Right.
Thanks to science.
It was very hot. This is my new trip point. It was very hot. Florida? Hot? In summer? Who would have thought?
Wow.
Well, it's still May though. It's as someone from the Northeast, I would think that May is still like not hot yet.
Yeah, I mean, this
right?
past weekend I was wearing jeans and a sweatshirt. It was
like low 60s, high 50s.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was over. I think our coldest day was 91.
Oh God.
Yeah, it was
That
rough.
sounds miserable.
It was so hot that I got the orange Grand Marnier slushy in France.
Of course.
While Sam was waiting for the ice cream sandwich.
I did.
We have to hear about
And-
that later.
Sure, we will.
And my orange slush was basically melted by the time I got to the ice cream place.
Wow.
And again, it was like it was only two people that had to wait behind to get my orange slush, and there's only like 4 or 5 people ahead of us at the ice cream place.
So does the heat change your strategy for what drinks to get and what drinks not to get?
No, because the frozen drinks are you still need them. You need that cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still gonna drink beers if it's at 98 degree. That's
A cold drink.
My
While
takeaway.
listening to 98 Degrees play at the Rock the
the
Garden.
temperature of the drink is more important than the type of the drink.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
I think our lifesaver was this exact bottle.
Oh, that's a
saved our
takeaway.
soul
Let
at this trip.
let the listeners know that Reedy Gal Sam has lifted her Stanley cup.
So this
that's a
one
Stanley
is
mug?
this one's a Simply Modern, but it is a Stanley adjacent.
Okay,
cup.
Stanley adjacent.
I carry this with me every day, and so I said
Oh,
to
it
Jay,
was our baby.
I said to Jay, let's try it one day, and if you don't like it, I'll throw it out in the parks. Like it was like $30. Like it's not a ton of money, not a little bit amount, but I was like, we'll throw it out if it really is a hassle. We must have had at least 10 of these a day between the two of us to 12, and it really was the only thing that saved us from being dehydrated.
Yeah, you absolutely needed it. And I feel so silly that we didn't buy one of those. They have these little
Like a strap.
things that you can turn.
goes around?
Yeah, it goes around a Stanley.
Oh, okay.
They had them at all the stores for the corksicle stuff.
Got it.
But
sense.
with the handle of the Stanley style water bottle, it wouldn't fit in
fit.
there.
So we would go to a quick service, get 2 cups of ice, and then we just bought Dasani bottles throughout the day and put them in. By the end of the day, there was still ice in it at like 96 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does a tremendous job.
I was gonna say Disney doesn't have water stations, refill stations.
They-
do
Well,
they?
They do.
They do. You
They're
can
rare.
ask for free water, but then
okay.
I heard these rumors. Maybe Andrew can attest. I heard that sometimes Disney water can taste funky.
Disney
like the tap
water is disgusting.
So we just stayed with Dasani
Disgusting.
the whole time.
Every time I drink water at like the hotels from the sink, my gums and my teeth start to hurt.
Did you say from the sink?
Like the sink water. Like
Oh,
the tap
okay,
water.
like when you're brushing your teeth.
Exactly.
I thought you were filling
buy
up your water.
I buy a bottle of water to brush my teeth with in Disney hotels.
Oh, wow. See,
the
I
water
didn't-
is disgusting.
See, I
It's
didn't
Florida.
need that,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
well, Florida water, yeah. But
yeah.
I just didn't. We just bought Dasani bottles.
It's also different wherever you go too. Like in Magic Kingdom, I've noticed that the water tastes worse, but maybe that's because it's old piping, right?
Right.
I would also say if you're at a quick service and they have the fountain machines, those are filtered and taste fine.
Yes.
Oh, like
yeah,
the
yeah.
freestyle soda machines?
Yeah.
Or like in America at Epcot, they in the what is that place called? Like the big
Regal.
Yeah.
Oh,
Regal.
yeah.
When I went in, the bartender outside, he's like, just go and use ice and water, and
Got it.
it was like the old
Yeah.
school soda machines.
Yeah, Emily and I bring around two. We have 2 canteens, of water bottles that we do as well, and we just fill them up from free water stations. They even have water bottle fill up stations, especially in Hollywood Studios now and Animal Kingdom.
Yeah. Animal Kingdom seems to be the most ahead of the curve with the dedicated where the water fountains are. There's also a water bottle fill station.
Normally they're warm though. Those you have to have ice in it from a quick service, but we'll tend to like never really pass a quick service without checking our water level to see how much we have left.
Yeah.
On top of hot, my next point is that we did 4 park days in a row, and that is incredibly ambitious in general, and something I think I've said on the podcast that I don't like doing.
Yeah.
And doing it in the heat has just, don't replicate that.
Yeah, that's
like
tough.
do as I say, not as I do. Don't do
Yeah.
4 park days in a row in summer. Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom, we both left really early out of sheer necessity, just preserve our bodies
Yeah.
because it's just too hot. And also it rained every day.
Every day.
And for a while, like it wasn't just like I've been in summer and had it rain at like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock for like
3
half
o'clock,
hour, an hour. We had multiple days where it started raining at like 5 p.m. and it was still raining at 9.
Like torrential though, not like a sprinkle, like a
shame.
thunderstorm. Full
It was
on.
like on and off torrential thunderstorms from 5 p.m. to like 10 o'clock at night on our Magic Kingdom day.
Did you get to see fireworks or no?
no.
We skipped out of just being like,
No, I just said I don't need to see them.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Like we were so uncomfortable at that point.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say the rain started 5 at Magic Kingdom, and we went to Skipper Canteen, and by the time we were out, it was like only 7:30, and it was still torrential.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to wait an hour and a half.
and then
Yeah.
Like no one was in the roads. Like everyone was just standing under the overhangs or in the stores, and it just wasn't.
Yeah. I think Magic Kingdom is the worst park to be in the rain.
Yeah, and we had ponchos that day, and it just wasn't enough. It was so much rain for so long
Yeah.
that it just wasn't salvageable, which is also fine because I've seen Happily Ever After before. She's seen Happily Ever After before, and it did kind of help. Sometimes you have to make some sacrifices to preserve the totality of the trip.
Yeah.
Because if we made ourselves miserable that night just to watch the fireworks, then like, is the next day going to still be fun?
Mhm.
You have to figure out what works for you to make sure that you still have a great vacation. And
Yeah.
I think we still did.
Yeah. And like you both start getting irritable because of like you're tired and it's raining, and then you start to bicker a bit, and just kind of ruins.
What are we unpacking here?
Don't put words in my mouth.
Yeah, for me, I don't know. Fireworks are not at this point. At how many times I've gone, are not a complete necessity. If it makes sense that we just won't see him this time. It is what it is.
Yeah,
I'll
that's how we
be at
felt.
his house sometime, and it'll be on the TV. So
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Let the record show he pointed to me.
So I think that sit-down meals are only worth it half of the time, specifically in Magic Kingdom and Epcot. I just don't think it's worth it. Like after going, we went to Spice Road and sat down. And this isn't to say they weren't good, but sitting down at Spice Road, sitting down at Skipper, I feel like for the price sometimes and like the how long you're in there, like I would rather be doing other things, I think.
I felt different about Skipper Canteen. I feel like I actually have a point here that said that I thought Skipper Canteen was a hit. Basically, it's a gem within the Magic Kingdom area. As far as like, if you're inside Magic Kingdom and you don't want to leave the park proper, like it's kind of a one of one.
Yeah,
it's kind of the only place that isn't like that's doing real food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. I think my point is more I guess it's more of like, there isn't a need, like if you can fit it in, definitely do it. I think it was delicious and like really, I think even just doing it once is worth it.
Yeah.
But as an overall picture, I just don't think, especially in Epcot, like you don't need to do a sit down in Epcot.
At Epcot, I agree.
And I think in Magic Kingdom, it just depends on how your day rolls out. I think there's enough snack options in Magic Kingdom that you don't need to spend the money on a sit down.
Maybe, but I do feel like savory food items are a rarity in Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely
Like-
more sweet focused. Yeah.
A lot of the best snacks there are very sweet. There's a lot of good sweets there.
Yeah.
But
Like,
I
other
mean-
than that, it's hamburgers, hot dogs, maybe some fish from Columbia Harbor House.
right, but I know, but it's not. It feels like it's lacking something.
Yeah.
There's something that it's lacking that all the other parks have.
Yeah.
Magic Kingdom is an amusement park food.
Yes,
Right,
right,
exactly.
Carnival
It's
style food,
Right.
yeah.
It's yes.
But I don't think that's such a hot take. I think that I definitely agree with you. I don't remember the last time that I sat and ate a meal at Epcot when I didn't when going there wasn't for the purpose of sitting and eating a meal, right? Like we were talking a couple episodes back about, Sean, you like to go back to the room, get dressed nice, go into the park.
When
go
the
into
focus
Epcot.
is going out and sitting in a restaurant.
Going in and sitting in Epcot is great, but during the day there's so much to eat there.
Yes,
even
yeah.
when there's not a festival going on.
I know.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, because every country has a quick service thing
Yeah.
that involves a savory snack.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely usually I make a point to do a lunch in Epcot, like I've done Germany, Mexico, China. I don't think I had Spice Road Table. What's the other place?
Marrakesh.
Restaurant Marrakesh. I was so disappointed with that place. But yeah, I mean, it all depends on your vibe. You know, it depends on how much time you have there and what you want to get done. If you don't think, because you're committing probably at least 90 minutes to 2 hours. Like sitting down for lunch, at Beer Garden in Germany, it's a whole show.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
So they put out the food at certain intervals. So you're committing a big chunk of your afternoon to a sit down meal. So no, it's. I mean, I definitely don't think it's a hot take, but it's
Maybe even go further that never sit down for lunch in the theme parks. I think I'd always rather leave the theme park and have a break from the chaos
And go to the hotel.
and go to a hotel
Or
for
Disney
lunch.
resort
Springs.
has most resorts, especially the ones in the moderate and deluxe category, have a nicer restaurant than what's in Magic Kingdom, with the exception of Skipper Canteen.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm coming from with that.
Right.
Yeah. I think all the rest of my hot takes are more focused. I would assume the hotel is also like a focused hot take. So yeah, I guess that would be.
Okay, we're in specifics now.
So before we get into specifics, I want to ask just about attire. Or are you going to go into attire?
attire?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
No, I
Okay.
don't have any points about attire.
One, what shoes did you wear from your episode?
Great question. I ended up wearing my New Balances the whole time.
Okay.
Which I did promote on our
Yeah.
April Fool's episode.
Yeah, on the April Fool's episode.
I
you talked
did
about.
buy, just because I have been wearing them like pretty frequently. I did buy like inserts for them.
Yeah.
Just for a little extra support, but they were great.
Yeah.
I also, in Disney Springs, there's a Rothy's store.
Yes.
And I didn't realize that it was there, and I wanted to stop in, but it was raining. So I was like, you know what, next trip, because I saw a bunch of people wearing Rothy's. So Reedy Geek Emily really hit the nail on the head with that
Rothy.
rec. Yeah, absolutely.
Backpack or no backpack?
No
pack.
backpack. We had a fanny
Fanny
pack.
pack.
Fanny pack. And that was enough.
Well, we had to hold the water bottle.
Right.
Yes, it was enough. I'm just gonna say it was enough. I think a backpack we would have gotten tired of holding. I think the fanny pack was just fine.
I think it's too hot. I think it was too hot to wear back.
I can't fathom wearing a backpack in the park. Can't even wrap my head around it.
We've tried going in and without it.
How much
and
stuff do you need?
I don't know. Well, Emily gets cold with the air conditioning, especially going from hot to cold, so she likes to bring a sweater. I always get worried about my shirt getting soaked, and I bring another shirt just in case, and then we got like a pharmacy that we bring just in case. I don't know.
The pharmacy could be kept in a fanny pack. We had stuff in a
Pharmacy
fanny
can be kept in the fanny
You can
pack,
get a crossbody, but I mean,
and the
he
canteens.
needs his popcorn bucket.
The canteens.
Well, you guys could go down to one canteen and get one of those satchels for that too.
I don't know the way that
It's
that
down to
girl
a
drinks
system.
water.
Does Disney let you?
she downs that water.
Would they let you bring in like a Camelback?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
Nick, my brother-in-law, he has a backpack that has a Camelback hooked up to it.
Interesting.
And he's definitely brought that in the parks with him.
But I will say I'm also a souvenir girl.
Well, that's the thing. is
Holding all those plastic bags.
and I don't think Disney does. They don't do the room drop off.
Not anymore.
merch
It's
anymore.
so-
Oh, really?
They need to bring
Not
that
So
even
back.
for
that's
big
definitely a good point. I think I could be wrong on this, but if you buy in one of the shops in Epcot, sometimes they'll sell alcohol. Like you buy a bottle of tequila or a bottle of wine or something. I think they still will hold it for you at the front of the park.
Yes.
And you can pick it up on your way out.
Yeah, because you can't walk
You
around
can't walk
with
around
that.
with alcohol.
Yeah.
Right. But we used to buy up everything, and it would be like you might not get it that day. It'll be in your room tomorrow, but like you buy a shirt, a hat, whatever you buy.
Yeah.
You tell them, you give them your room number at your hotel, and they just drop it off for you.
Yeah, that was
They
nice.
don't do that anymore. So I get the carrying around, and sometimes you buy something small, but you still get a giant bag.
Giant
and it's
bag.
Just, yeah.
And then I always make Jay hold it. So like, but it wasn't too bad. I think this time
Josh, tomorrow, we know you're listening. Please make this change.
We're stopping pleading to Bob because we know he's out the door soon.
Well, maybe we get Buddy Dyer on us. He can.
I don't think Buddy Dyer has this kind of sway.
I think you'd be surprised.
I did have a hot take about souvenirs, but I don't know if that's general enough.
Okay.
I also don't need to say it. It was just don't be afraid to buy souvenirs. I feel like I don't know if they've ever been mentioned on the podcast. Like, I guess none of you guys are souvenir people. But
So you said don't buy souvenirs?
no, definitely do.
Oh, do. Yeah.
Like, why? I just think I don't know, because it's fun. Like, I'm not saying buy out like ears and shirts and stuff, but we created a magnet in. Was it Italy?
I think that's cool.
Like we did blown glass, so it's going to be delivered. There's a piece of art over there. The artist was there signing it. So we bought a piece of art, had the artist sign. I think there's just a lot of cool stuff that isn't necessarily Disney coded as much as.
I think that's different. Like, I go into the world of Disney and I'm like, I would not buy a single thing in here. Like
That's
I
fair.
don't t-shirts, shorts, I just don't think that I can't value at this point now without the price, spending $45-$50 on a t-shirt.
if you're lucky, they're expensive.
Like those Spirit jerseys that are really popular are $80-$90 bucks a piece. But like buying something you can hang up, a piece of art, something you've made. I think that's different souvenir rather than just your kitschy Disney a towel or a whatever.
Yeah, I think Disney still needs to step up their game as far as T-shirts go, because all of the small shops just absolutely blow them out of the water.
Like Etsy and
all the subtle,
The unofficial stuff, yeah.
Yeah, your Oswald and Sons and Main Street Tourist.
I was looking at, I think it's Lost Bros. I was looking at that
them too.
today. There's a couple Epcot shirts I want to get.
That one. They have like a
the Pizza Rizzo one.
World Showcase walking
Club. That's that's the one I was looking at. Yeah. Yeah, World Showcase Cocktail Club or something.
Yes.
There's a couple I want to grab. But yeah, I mean, I think at this point, the official Disney licensed t-shirts just stink.
Yeah, because there's too many. It's a hat on a hat. They put the ride logo and then Walt Disney World. Like you don't need two. Like,
right.
Like I don't mind being a billboard for Disney. I have a podcast about Disney.
Interesting.
If you're a subtle merch shop and you want to advertise on our podcast, please,
Yes.
please hit us up. We'll pimp the crap
One
out
of
of
these
you.
days, promo code Reedy Geeks
Yeah,
will be a real thing.
Use promo code Reedy Geeks at all the sites that we mentioned.
Yeah.
But yeah, I looked for a shirt, didn't see anything.
Yeah.
Do you remember they had nice stuff like in the gift shops of like the Polynesian, the Grand Floridian?
Yes.
Those are like
The
the golf
nice-
shirts, the button-ups. Those
the
are
deluxe
really nice.
resort gift shops have really nice stuff.
I'd almost say don't buy stuff in the parks, and if you do a nice dinner at a resort,
Yeah.
go to that gift shop instead.
And you mentioned a good thing about the polos. Like their polos are pretty good. They're always subtle. You know, it'll just be like a little Mickey, especially the Nike
Yeah, I
polos.
was gonna say the Nike ones are
the
really
Nike
nice,
hats are good. Where it's just like a silhouette of Mickey.
Yeah, simple is better.
Yeah.
Simple is better. Subtle is better. And then because you want it to be something that you'd wear in your regular life
Right.
too.
Yeah. But other souvenirs too, like I like Disney's home. Like, we typically get a lot of things like for the house.
Coffee mugs, things for the kitchen.
Coffee mugs, things for the
Tea
kitchen.
towels.
Kitchen ones are big. Yeah,
Yeah,
towels.
Oh, the tea towels are great.
Yeah.
And magnets. We have our share of magnets.
Yeah.
Do we? Just
Yeah, for some reason, things like that don't fall under the souvenir category. I don't think of those as like souvenirs. They're almost like those are household necessities. Those are things you're going to use every day. It's
Right.
my other car is a Doom Buggy T-shirt that I don't need.
My other cards are too funny.
That's a real thing.
That's pretty good, actually. I like that.
Oh, okay, here's one. So, Country Bears needed the revival, and it's perfect. If they didn't, it would have had the same fate as Muppets and A Bug's Life.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I think my takeaway of that is the first time that we went on it, we were like, we never have to see the show again. Like, it was a one and done. And after seeing it, I would make this something that I go to every time I'm in Magic Kingdom.
I agree. I think
It was so good.
I think especially with Muppets 3D gone, rest in peace. Magic Kingdom has 3 really great shows that you should see every time you go, and Country Bears is one of them. It's Country Bears, Filler Magic, and Carousel of Progress.
Do you like Country Bears that much?
So good.
yeah.
And I think so. The first time we went was in 2020. No, 2022. We went with my family, not your
Yes,
family.
2022.
And we were like the only people in there. There was like 2 other families maybe, and it was fine. We went this time. It was packed.
Well, it's a new one now.
It is the new one.
It wasn't the new one before.
It was packed. The kids were singing along. All the animatronics looked great. They like redid a bunch of them.
yeah, they
it
looked so
perfect.
good.
Yeah.
It was really, really good. I think they're going to have a little revival in the upcoming years.
It was funnier. The moose on the wall was great. Tremendous improvement. I completely agree.
Yeah. Check it out.
My next point, also from Magic Kingdom. Shout out to Skipper Kira on the Orinoco Ida. She was fantastic and one of the best Jungle Cruise skippers I've ever had.
Wow,
Nice,
really?
nice.
She was great.
That really makes or breaks that ride.
Oh, yeah.
100%. It's the person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And she was telling jokes. I mean, obviously, they basically have like 2 or 3 options for
Yeah.
each scene.
Yeah.
So, like, a lot of the stuff is stuff that I heard before. It wasn't a new script or
It's the
something.
delivery. It's how they get into it.
Yeah, she crushed it.
Yeah.
Absolutely crushed it.
Did you do a cast compliment on
I
DE?
did not, but I should probably go back.
You can do that
and-
on the app?
Yeah, on
I
the
didn't know
app.
that, no.
Oh, yeah, we should.
We should
Yes.
go back and
I
do
remember
it.
we did one, and my Disney experience at the app, I don't know if it was a thing with this, but we just did it on Twitter. And,
okay.
And they picked it up on Twitter, but yeah, it was the cast member that was on Soarin' let us ride it like 4 times back to
Nice.
back to back to back because it was the close of the night.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Yeah, I think that is like good for them. Like Twitter was a place where you could go and do that, but now they've like formalized.
That's
the
good. No,
process.
that's good.
And I think she really liked her job too, because did she have a little skipper boat on her necklace?
Yeah, she was just all around. I don't
was
think we'll
great.
ever have a
I
person
know.
like her get on the
I'm
ride.
actually scared to do the Jungle Cruise again because
It won't
she-
be- it won't live
Won't be
up.
the same.
What was her
Yeah.
name? Skipper?
Kira.
They should release the schedule of when these people are doing their tours.
So there was someone that was like super in demand, and he would post when he was his schedule.
Really? That's
yes,
cool.
that was years ago. I'm gonna look that up.
It was
online.
Josh Gad. My next point, staying in Magic Kingdom. Tiana was great and is my current favorite in Magic Kingdom specifically.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
Okay.
I understand, though, that some people believe that there should have been a conflict on the ride.
Yes.
But it's not my job to write the script or do the, like I'm not in charge of designing the ride. Like, I'm taking the ride for what they gave us.
Right.
And I think the animatronics were great.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it was so much fun. And it's just really nice to have that ride and that ride layout have like functioning high quality animatronics on it.
Yeah. It was so broken for so long.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
When it was Splash Mountain.
When it was
yeah,
Splash
yeah,
Mountain.
Yeah.
Unless we got a particularly A mode ride. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to double down on your Tiana, and I'm going to do a shout out to the woman standing in front of us on the line, because I was very nervous to go on the water ride wearing jeans, which is my mistake. And the woman in front of us put her poncho on, and I said, that is the smartest thing
jeans.
I don't know why I didn't think to do it.
And then you threw your poncho
I threw
on.
my poncho on, and I was dry.
Good to
you
go.
It was great.
Was it like full jeans in 90-degree heat?
Well, there were big holes in the knees, but yes, it was.
It was a mistake.
No, it was not a mistake. I was not hot because of the jeans. I was hot because I wore high socks under the jeans, and that's what did me in.
I mean, I
Didn't
mean,
help.
It
Did
didn't
not help the situation.
It didn't help.
Bouncing off you, I kind of want everyone's opinion on this. I never knew that Dumbo Carnival area existed. And my takeaway is that it probably doesn't need to be there or needs an upgrade. And I'm confused because it just seems like an odd theme with not a lot of Disney IP.
Where is this now?
It's in Magic Kingdom.
In the
Right.
back of Fantasyland,
The Toontown, Mickey's like
Yeah,
Toontown.
Yeah, what it
used
used
to
to
be
be.
Toontown. Is
Yeah.
Mickey's birthday town too, or
Yeah.
Mickey's birthday.
That was just a circus.
I think does that place exclusively exist to be like where you can bring little kids?
there is a little bit of a kids playground type of
Yeah.
vibe over there, and then it's double. Like Dumbo is now 2. There's 2 Dumbos
wow.
over there, and also that's where the Barnstormer is, which is
Yes.
another ride that we can just get rid of.
just feel like they're
It's
getting.
basically like the Adventureland style roller
It's
coaster.
a kid roller
Kids roller
coaster.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess
You kind of maybe
those
you need
things.
that.
Those things.
Yeah.
I feel like they kind of have to. You see that land, and you're like, oh, what could go here?
Yes.
You know. But
I see that and the Tomorrowland Speedway, and I go, "This is a great land."
I think that's gone soon. I would not be surprised if. Well,
you think so? I think that's too much of a weird classic that I don't think they'll ever get rid of it.
I think they want to get rid of it.
Sure.
Maybe after Villains, then they'll work on that again.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Can we get rid of Animation Courtyard and Hollywood Studios first before we go fix up another section of Magic Kingdom? Let's make Magic Kingdom a 3-day park before we fix Hollywood Studios.
But your circus comment, right? Not that your comment was a circus, but the comment about the circus
right.
land of Magic Kingdom. That land has had trouble since like the early 90s. It's never really had a consistent, permanent theme. Even like when it was Mickey's Birthday Land, that was supposed to be temporary. They were like temporary tents up there that then kind of became permanent, and it's always been like in turmoil, that area.
It's like what's that restaurant at the mall that like every 4 or 5 years is something new?
Yeah.
Bobby's Burger Palace.
Yeah, right.
Bobby's
That
Burger.
that corner spot there, whatever it is now, that's going to be gone in 2 years.
Ford's Garage.
Yeah, gone. 2 years max, gone.
I don't know. It's got big automaker money behind it.
What could possibly go wrong?
So if you're going to Magic Kingdom, a great tip and takeaway would be to just rope drop Seven Dwarf Mine Train instead of buying
Spending your hard-earned money on it. Ugh.
I want to say, I mean, yes, because we had the early access due to staying on property. So I want to say we stood before it officially opened for about 15 minutes, but then it was basically a walk-on.
Yeah, it was really great. And again, it goes back to the original point of like, use the lightning lane system to your advantage. It's a la carte for a reason. Mm-hmm. Use the rope drop. Our rope drop at Magic Kingdom went so great. We got on stuff I wasn't even thinking we would get on. We got on Peter Pan because the wait was below 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, like we...
Oh, so then you went through the queue, which is a great queue.
It was such a great queue.
Great queue.
Which I had never... Actually, a lot of queues I had never gone through. Like, I mean, I think my favorite queue is the dinosaur queue.
Oh, yeah, and the pre-show.
And you always do the pre-show.
Oh, yeah, because, I guess she, like, totally forgot that there was, like, the big dinosaur when you walk into the Institute and stuff. And
well, we lightning laned it last time, so I don't think... Do you still pass that?
Oh, right, the last time we went on it, No, you kind of bypass some of the room.
Yeah.
And you're just in it so quick, they're just like forcing you into the pre-show.
And what was nice is, so when I had gone on a couple of years ago, I remember thinking, like, it was really bright inside. You could see all the animatronics. It wasn't that great.
Yeah.
I went on this ride having zero expectations, just as a farewell. It was probably my favorite ride, like one of my top 3 rides. They definitely did a little refurb before, like it was pitch black.
They put it in
great.
As close to A mode as they could.
Yeah.
It was really great. And I would say the only thing that wasn't A mode was the dinosaur at the end that scares you was just a little too... He was like pointed up. He didn't move down and like get in your face.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that wasn't A mode. The lighting was great. It really, it was a fun ride that like really jostled you around and laughing the whole time. It was really great.
And
not gonna make it. They're not gonna make it.
And
we made it. I knew you would.
And we rope dropped that. That was what we rope dropped at Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, we rope dropped it.
Rope dropped dinosaur.
Nice.
We rode dinosaur twice.
Which really, I think it's so funny that they just completely removed that really crappy Disney movie from it, like the dinosaur movie.
Oh yeah, they slowly lifted that out.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Shortly after that ride opened.
Yeah.
Because it was supposed to be related to the movie Dinosaur that came out in like '99.
Right.
We did purchase because they're getting rid of it, so I'm always like, what can I purchase that has Dinoland? And I bought a
puppet. Can you?
Was it a T-Rex with with little arms?
Hold on. This is an audio medium, so I know we're getting a visual aid for the audio medium. She's getting the puppet that we carried around with us all day. I mean, not all.
We didn't have a backpack.
We didn't have a backpack, so it couldn't go in the backpack.
The Burger King came out with these.
Oh my God.
When
That's hilarious.
So Burger King came out with puppets back in like the early 2000s about this movie. So I remember having this as like a really bad Burger King toy.
Yeah.
So when I saw this and it has little Dino Land emblem,
I would 100% get that because Dr. Skeeter is using this in the pre-show.
It's a different dinosaur.
Is it the other one that I didn't buy?
No, but that one looks more like it.
So for the audience, this is an arm sleeve puppet, right? So it's a puppet on your hand, but the neck of the dinosaur goes all the way down your arm.
Maybe we can take a picture of it.
Go there. Go to the dinosaur ride to loop back to that. Yeah. Go to the dinosaur ride.
And buy the merch.
Buy the merch. This is the only thing they had that had Dino Land left. I checked.
I saw a T-shirt where it was a dinosaur with with one of those grabby things to extend its arm, and but it still couldn't reach or something like that. And I thought, oh my God, that's so funny, that's so cute.
There were shirts there, but they were more dinosaur as a concept and not one of the only stores where I was looking for something that said dinosaur ride.
Right.
And it had nothing. That was like dinosaur ride.
It was
merch.
These 2 puppets and then the thing, like you said, the grabby thing that looked like a dinosaur.
Yeah.
Just those 3 things were the only things that had a Dino Land USA
logo
emblem. Yeah.
That's so silly.
I know.
Oh, they missed out.
I mean, just because we're talking about this, I'm going to jump to a point on a different day. I'm a little upset there was no MuppetVision 3D merch. A big part of the reason why we did this trip was to say goodbye to the little Muppets land that was there. There was no merch there, and we had to go to Pizza Rizzo and get the pressed pennies because there were still Muppets pressed pennies at Pizza Rizzo.
Oh, okay.
But other than that, there was no Muppet merch. We looked at all the stores in Hollywood Studios.
All the stores everywhere.
Right. There was nothing.
Wow.
There was nothing, and people were looking for it.
Yeah.
We weren't the only ones looking for it.
I mean, they've known for a while that it's going to go away. They should have stocked up on
Something.
Yeah.
Huh.
And I wonder if there's going to be, when's the last day?
It's done.
It's done.
Oh, it's done by the time this comes out.
Oh, shoot.
Like it was
The last
this
day,
past weekend.
for context for the listener, in case I leave this in, MuppetVision 3D closes the day after tomorrow,
So the 7th.
the 7th.
I really would have thought that, like, from at least Memorial Day to the 7th, there would have been last days of Muppets.
We were there on the
Stuff.
28th, nothing.
So they
Yeah.
did have a camera person taking photos, and it was kind of upsetting. Like, it was just by the clock that has Kermit on
The
it.
Kermit clock.
When we went a couple years ago, they had a photographer set up in front of the fountain.
Yeah.
Because it's such a prime spot, and they didn't even have someone there. They had someone in like the back corner when you leave MuppetVision.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was odd.
I think
but
that was a traffic choice.
probably.
I think they didn't want a line in front of the piggy fountain.
Yeah. And people would try to bypass the line and take their own photos, and then that's going to ruin the photo pass
Yeah.
photo.
Staying in Hollywood Studios. The Villains Unfairly Ever After was definitely for kids. It makes me a little nervous for Villains Land.
Yeah.
very, very much for children.
The songs were great. The performers were excellent. The theater looked beautiful. The chairs were comfortable.
Did you see Hercules? Not Hercules, Hades.
So the ones that they had physically that like were in person was Cruella, Hook, and Maleficent, and then they had Jafar and Hades like as actors but on the screen. So I'm assuming it rotates because you have to vote for who you think is the
It actually
the
doesn't
most-
rotate. It's the
Oh, it
same
doesn't?
three, but
Okay.
the ending is different based on audience reaction.
Which I think was fake because I don't think people really voted.
No, people love Maleficent that much.
I don't know why.
They're-
Cruella's set was so cool because she does costume changes
She had
throughout.
like four
the,
costume changes in like 2 minutes.
you know, like the quick ones that you see on like X Factor, where
Yeah.
like they'll throw confetti and then there's a new outfit. She did that the whole time,
Yeah,
and it was cool.
Maleficent and the Dragon are things that people are just like super into.
Yeah, they go crazy for Maleficent, and she won she was the most unfairly treated or whatever. It was definitely, it was disjointed like a kids TV show is. You know how like you watch a kids TV show and you're like, is there a scene missing?
Yeah.
Because they're just like these little vignettes that are like, so like that's kind of how it felt. And then at the end it's like, okay, now vote for which one is the most unfairly treated.
Yeah.
But we really just got like introduction songs. Like they didn't go into why I'm the most unfairly treated. It was like, I'm Captain Hook and I'm being treated unfairly. And then it was just like voting for who you liked the most going into it.
Well, and I think that this is for their market research. That's what they're doing with this.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
But if this is their market research, I'm a little worried.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen the show, but I think more than anything, these it's this one and there's a Little Mermaid one, correct?
Yeah. New Little Mermaid.
These are just places to put people.
Oh yeah.
While they're doing construction, so I don't want to say little thought when it's just what can we do to just get 200 people in a room 15 times a day. I don't know. I think they have grand things planned for Villains Land.
I'm sure, the Imagineers are incredible, so I'm sure there's a lot of people with a lot of really good ideas. But I guess if they're on the fence about do we need to put Captain Hook in the Villains Land, like how heavily featured do we need Captain Hook to be? Yeah, maybe they're judging, the pop on Cruella de Vil and Captain Hook. Maybe this is all them internally debating who gets the second ride. Like they're like Maleficent's getting the big, maybe Maleficent gets the e-ticket.
Right.
But maybe they're trying to figure out should the C-ticket attraction be for another specific villain.
Right.
And now they're trying to figure out, do people like Cruella? Do people like Hook?
Because if you think about it, like what market research really would they be able to use? Like there's not that much merchandise out there for people to buy to vote with their dollars, right?
Right.
So, this might be a way to see, who's like next in line. And maybe that's why Cruella, they made the scene so cool. And it was so much like the movie, and the movie did well, right? Like wasn't the font and all of the show scenes kind of like the movie-esque? I don't know. I saw a quick clip of that. The movie Cruella, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Live action.
yeah.
The one that they just did with Emma
that one was
Stone?
great.
Yeah.
That one was a great movie.
And I thought that those scenes in Unfairly Ever After were kind of the same art and the same type of style.
Yeah, I think a lot of the visuals are really good. The song is really catchy too.
Yeah.
It just was a little disjointed and a little obviously for kids.
Yeah.
When does Villain's Land, or whatever it's going to be called, when is it supposed to open?
27 or 28.
Okay,
Yeah.
we it's not because I was gonna say I think the ride ideas have to be fully cooked by now. You'd think.
I mean, I don't know. I think they could probably a lot can change in 3 years, right? You
Yeah.
know?
I will say something that, because going in, I was thinking a lot of it, people who grew up with villains, like we thought they were scary. They're definitely trying to take a more like playful edge to them. Like I guess not to have that for the new generation of kids, but I was pleasantly surprised that on the screens they have flashes of all the villains, and they were including, in my mind, some pretty obscure villains, which I was very happy about. Like they had like King John from Robin Hood. They had
cool.
they had the crazy lady from The Rescuers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like they had to
Yeah.
a point where I didn't even know some of them.
Emperor's
They were
New
pulling-
Groove. They
Yeah, they
showed a
had Beast
lot
was the big
of
one.
yeah.
So I think they're definitely trying to please both like the new kids, but also people like us or older.
Maybe we get JJ's ride idea where we go through. Was that your
Oh,
ride?
the VCU, the Villain Cinematic
Yeah,
Universe.
yeah.
Because you got a wonderful imagination.
Okay, so I don't have any more takeaways for Hollywood Studios. So let's go over to Epcot. Guardians has dethroned Rise to me. Guardians is #1 ride in Walt Disney World now. No offense to Rise of the Resistance. I still think it's absolutely elite ride. However, when you're expecting the stuff that happens to happen, it's just a little less magical.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that's fair, and I just think Guardians is a little more re-rideable because roller coasters in general are a little more designed to be a re-ride kind of ride. Also, Rise of Resistance was having a really rough day.
I had almost a panic attack being trapped in the pod.
Yeah, so we actually got a very unique experience. We got evac'd off of the pre-show.
Wow. From where in the pre-show?
After you
The
end.
second pre-show when you're on the transporter.
Okay.
So we were in the transporter. It says we've arrived, and then everything goes like the puppet in the front goes dark, and a cast member comes on and says, "All right, guys, like we'll come get you in a minute. Like just hang tight." And I started
Panicking.
straight panic because we're stuck. Like you're in the transporter for probably almost 10 minutes.
You're just floating out in space.
Yeah, that's what Jay's like explaining the mechanics. He's like, "We're fine. It's basically an elevator. Like we're okay."
So what it is it's actually a turntable. So it's like a giant lazy Susan.
Okay.
But you're up in the air. It moves up and then turns.
No, you don't move up.
Oh, you don't?
No.
I thought
It
you
just
did because
rumbles.
we had to step over. When you look down, it went like down.
There's like a little step.
No, in the crack. It was like,
Yeah, but that's because it's the whole mechanism is a big turntable underneath
okay,
it, so there's a crack.
seemed taller.
It was not tall. It was like a step. Like 6 inches.
Anyway, keep going.
So it's on a giant turntable, and you're really just basically just turning to the left slowly during that whole process.
Yeah.
And so the combination of it being able to rumble and it turning to the left makes you feel like you're, flying.
Yeah.
So very interesting. When we got out, we were able to take a look at some of the screens that they use, and it's basically just like 100-inch LCD at either end where you're like looking out the thing. So like they just show you a porthole of it, but it is a full big screen TV on the either side.
Are you allowed to share that, or are they gonna find you and shoot you?
Yeah,
big mark on your back.
Bob's gonna find us. I didn't take any video of it.
It was fine.
Should have.
I took a video of us trapped. I took a video before because I think they said something about putting phones away. So I did.
Yeah.
I'm a rule follower. We also got B mode at the end too. We didn't see the Kylo Ren at the end. It was the his TIE fighter.
Well, if you got evacuated, then what happened? You just got to go on the ride again, or
they evacuated us off of the pre-show and through like a hallway, and then all of a sudden we were on the starship right, and to the left of us were all the stormtroopers.
Oh, okay. So
you should be allowed to go back and do it again.
No, so that part was closed down for they said that's now broken for the day, and people had to skip that part.
Ooh. Yeah, they were sending people straight through, which is what they do for single rider.
That's terrible, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't think it was down for the whole
part.
part.
It was down for some time though. It wasn't like a quick fix. Like they just. So when the doors open and you're staring at the
stormtroopers.
Thank you. We came in, like coming from the left. So they appeared on our left. Like we came that was the door.
Yeah, we went backstage and then basically opened a door and then we were on the destroyer.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. But the other people online with us during this rope drop, which also, again, we saved $23 a person by rope dropping it, and we went right on.
Okay.
Like literally right on. So that was really great. But yeah, they weren't even sending people into the second pre-show. They were taking people off the ship, like out of the, you see Rey in the first pre-show.
Yeah.
And then they were taking them off backstage and around the thing rather than close the ride down, because I guess they didn't know how long it was going to be down for.
I'm just thankful we got to go on the ride itself.
Yeah.
And they didn't just say
because it is an excellent ride.
How does that? I don't know how that part breaks.
It was
anything can break.
Yeah.
But then I got so nervous because they were pumping air, but I'm like, what if it all goes dark and then there's like 30 people in here, just like it's 100 degrees outside and then we just bake. My imagination got the best of me.
I know she was ready to pry those doors open.
I was like,
Then Disney makes it better.
No, we didn't get any compensation.
No, well,
for that one.
Yeah.
But that was we were quote unquote stuck for like 7 minutes.
yeah.
I thought we'd at least get a lightning lane or something, but they were like, get a move on.
Well, I think if they had to close the whole ride down, or they weren't letting other people skip the pre-show, and they shut the whole ride down because that pre-show was down, then I think we would have gotten some sort of compensation.
Or if we paid, like I think because we just walked on. But I think if people paid for that ticket, they probably got something, which they should have if they paid money for it.
I agree with that assessment.
If we're shooting on back to Epcot, because that was from Guardians, how it.
Yeah, it was, back to Epcot, back to Guardians.
When I first went to Epcot, I thought Figment. I didn't understand it, but I forced Jay to go on the ride again, and I loved it. I really did. I think it needs a refurb, but I like the concept of him, and I think it was cute.
You know what? This is one of my takeaways too. Figment isn't that bad. We put it in the pile of the worst, and I'm telling you, there were 2 rides that were in far worse shape than the Figment ride.
What rides?
Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin.
Ooh, yeah.
That is
smells like a dirty
that
diaper.
That one's
there.
like it's 50% of the time the thing that turns your car isn't working. Sometimes your blaster doesn't even work. So yeah.
Tell me about it. Mine did not work at all.
Her blaster didn't work.
He
And she
had,
hated how I was turning the vehicle.
Yeah, he had like 180,000 points. I had like 50.
3,000.
Like it was like nothing.
Sounds like it may have been user error. But yes, let's just blame Disney.
Yeah, that's right.
No, but I agree though. That ride is, it's
Yeah.
like you can tell like the projections are all off and stuff in that. It's just
I bet you it's the same projections from when it opened.
Oh, yeah,
as
in
like
2000.
Dreamfinder or whatever that was. No, it wasn't the Dreamfinder. It was the
when you had wings.
when you had wings. Dream Flight. That was another one too.
Oh yes, I know what you're saying. Yeah, possibly. Right.
Yeah.
But Buzz Lightyear, the Little Mermaid ride is a little rough. The animatronics are
That's relatively new.
The animatronics need some help.
The Frozen ride's new, and that stinks.
Yeah, a few of them were broken on the Little Mermaid when we went.
Yeah, but I agree with the assessment that Figment as a concept isn't bad.
Yeah.
The ride is what it is. It should be better. I think Figment deserves better than what he has. But I don't think I would put it in the bottom 5 of worst rides anymore.
No. I also love that in the beginning with all the scientists that it still has like the flubber. Like you know what I mean? Like it still pays
queue.
homage to like a lot of stuff that's gone now. Like
Honey,
the
I
Honey I
Shrunk
Shrunk the
the
Kids
Kids,
scientist is
yep.
there. And all that's gone. They kind of erased it. So it's nice to have a ride that still mentions it even in some capacity.
Yeah.
But what about when you go through different show scenes and like nothing happens? Is it do you go into it's a classroom? It's like or it's a reading. You're supposed to read an eye exam
Yeah.
thing.
Yes,
or
that's
yes.
the site.
It's
for
because
sight.
it's you're supposed to test your senses.
Yeah, and nothing happens though. That's the eye exam.
The eye
Okay.
exam turned into Figment. He with your imagination. What
just
was
have no
just an eye
imagination.
exam, it says Figment now. He has
guess-
so little imagination, he doesn't even notice.
I couldn't even see it.
Couldn't
It's just
even.
such a cute message for kids done in a really bad way. Like I think if they redid it, I think Figment could easily have a
A
revival.
refurb should be in the works for it. Not even just a refurb, like a reimagination of.
And I feel like I'm gonna get some slack for it, but I enjoyed Figment more than Living with the Land.
Yeah,
That's the wrong take.
that's tough. That's tough.
Well, you know what it is?
that's the wrong
Well,
take.
here's the reason why. We waited for almost a half hour to get on Living with the Land.
Yeah, we waited too long for Living with the
And
Land.
I think that's what did it for me is we walked on Figment. It was like cute and quick, and then Living with the Land. It was fun.
There's no
but
cue either. You're just rapping in and out of Living with the Land.
It was a lot.
Living with the Land is great, and this is absolute slander.
You know what? I advise our listeners, or your listeners, this isn't my podcast, to go on both and then maybe report back.
Now you're talking. That's the best idea you've had all day.
Speaking of rides that need refurbs, the Frozen ride, the projected faces on the Frozen ride are in bad condition.
Yeah.
There is a definite color difference in their faces and their bodies. It's getting really bad.
I think they just rushed that whole ride open,
I agree.
and it's one of the worst rides in Disney.
I actually think it's possibly a good ride, but I think they rushed those animatronics with the projected faces the way they did them. And I would not be surprised if we get the Disney Sea animatronics cloned and put onto that ride. Or if they do a fifth gate that the center is going to be Arendelle, like they're putting in places like, Disney Fantasy Springs and whatever.
I also think though that they thought those animatronics was going to be the next generation animatronics.
Correct. And they're not, and they're just not standing the test.
Already gone,
Yeah. Because they used the same animatronics in Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
But those don't bug me as much.
Yeah. I wonder why.
On the Frozen ride, you're supposed to pay attention. You're supposed to look at them. They're the characters in the ride.
Yeah,
Whereas in
yeah.
Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, you're kind of passing by them. It doesn't grab as much of your attention.
Maybe. Yeah.
A little more speed. You're moving through a little faster. I
Yeah.
think.
And the lighting is different. Like the Frozen ride, because it's all fake snow, it's like really bright in there, whereas Seven Dwarfs, it wasn't.
It's like darker. Yeah. You're in a cave, literally. Mine.
I also think maybe it's the outfits that they're wearing, the way that they're dressed. You don't notice the skin tone differences.
Skin tone might be different too, like the skin tone of the dwarves versus skin tone of the northern European Elsa.
Yes. Because also Olaf is fine. Because it's just his eyes that are projected.
And Olaf moves very smoothly.
Yes. So Olaf is great on that. Olaf's probably the best part of that ride.
Yeah.
Currently.
I would say the last one that needs a refurb is it Spaceship Earth?
Oh, yeah. That's one of the things they canceled.
To happen, yeah.
Was it? Because we went on it and it stopped for a minute. We were on that one too. And
yeah, but that happens. That's just like they let someone on with a wheelchair or something. They got to stop the
as an omni-mover thing.
Yeah,
because it happened to us on Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion,
too.
yeah,
it did.
Yeah,
right in the middle of the graveyard.
I took a video because we were right in front of the thing that we're sitting there, and Jay goes, Shopi said he was always scared of that thing, and it was like the thing that pops up behind the gravestone.
I think they slowed it down. I think it was
kid brain. It's kid brain. It's gotta be kid brain.
So we recorded it because just to take a look back.
That ends our takeaways for all the parks. Is that right, Sam? Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
You're done.
Perfect.
Get me out of here. No,
Perfect.
I'm done.
Okay, because I know we both have stuff about the hotel, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. You can start.
Oh, great. So,
what hotel did you stay at?
So we stayed at All Star Sports, and that was a strictly Sam decision. Jay wanted to stay at maybe one that had a little more amenities in the sense of if you did a resort day, maybe the pool's a little more geared to adults, a little newer. But I said no.
Justice for Value Resorts.
And you know what? We pulled up and we went into the lobby and immediately we said they just updated this hotel. And they did. Mm-hmm. Check-in was a breeze. Everyone was super friendly.
So nice.
The nicest people. They gave us a premier. We got a premier room.
Yeah, they gave us an offer to upgrade the room, the location of the room for really reasonable rate. So I upgraded, and then when we got there, they upgraded us again to a king size bed.
Right, can we upgrade to the Polynesian? Like, what are we?
Right.
what kind of upgrades
are available at the All Star Sports?
I do want to say this, but I can't go on the podcast. So they go, oh, if you don't mind, it's a handicap room, but the most that'll happen is the bed might be like an inch lower, or there might be some bars in the bathroom, and we're like, that's fine.
It's probably
and there wasn't
ADA.
It was
It wasn't.
It wasn't. It was really nice. And we get there, and I go to Jay and I go, look, there's two peoples. And he goes, oh, one for kids. And I go, no, that's for people in wheelchairs because it's like a handicap room.
Right.
Two peoples?
Peoples. Like when you look through. And he goes, that's so cute. There's like one for kids. And I was like, no, Jay, that's if you're in a wheelchair because we're in an ADA accessible room.
Right. Everyone always assumes the lower urinal in the bathroom is for kids. And it's for handicapped people.
Yeah. Wow.
But anyway, scoot on back to that. So everyone was super nice. But I think everyone was super nice because we had put down, since it's within the first couple of months of us getting married, that this was one of our honeymoon trips. Mm-hmm. And everyone at All Star Sports was super sweet about us. We got like a basket, and we joked because we were like, do we think people doing their honeymoon would stay at All Star Sports? And I think they should, because the only qualm that I had to do with 2 of the night shuttles were just late. Otherwise,
yeah.
It was so great.
I wonder what the honeymoon suite at the All Star Sports is like.
Well, we got it.
It's actually the ADA accessible king room
with the king size bed. It's room 1203 at All Star Sports.
Are you still? Are the All Stars all still sharing the one bus? Is that still a thing?
No.
Oh wow, that's huge.
They have dedicated buses for each All Star.
Yeah.
The pool was great. So at first, because we didn't think we'd go swimming because we had the 4 days.
Yeah.
But the 2 days we came back early, we went in the pool both days.
Oh yeah.
There were people doing like a whole craft section for the kids.
Yeah.
There was plenty of chairs.
Yeah, there were people whose job was to entertain the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like one side of the pool had. I didn't think they did that at Values.
I know. Yeah, that's a good point.
At the Pop Century pool, there's always some kind of trivia going on, some kind of like,
Yeah.
they got noodles and stuff, and they have chalk they're drawing on. Yeah, there's always stuff to entertain the kids.
Yeah.
Especially at the value resorts.
No, it was really great. Tons of families having the time of their lives, and I also really enjoyed our time there. The refresh was really good. They pivoted away from pictures of athletes, which naturally get dated.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we went there in 2020. It was Tiger Woods and Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, yeah. So they haven't
Yeah.
done this since like 1999.
Right.
And Mark McGuire and stuff. It was 90s baseball.
Yeah.
And
You got like a picture like Tony Gwynn in your room, and kids are like, "Who is this?"
And I took photos and videos throughout the whole thing just in case. And so I'd have like a room tour
Yeah.
too. Bathroom was huge.
bathroom was great.
I don't think. Amazing.
the amenities were really solid, especially for it really was providing a value.
Yeah.
The only two complaints I have. First, I mean, it could do a little better in the food/lounge region. An outdoor pool bar isn't enough. The food court isn't enough. It needs something else, whether it's just like a really basic diner-esque sit-down restaurant or a little lounge that serves like appetizers and is just like an inside place for mom and dad to have a drink.
Yeah.
Like just one more thing like that, and I think it would be like a whole nother level of like you don't need to spend money on the moderates. Like you have everything you need.
Yeah.
And it wasn't bad food. Like it was cafeteria
It's
style.
cafeteria food. Yeah.
But it was, I mean, I ordered one night, we got back late. I ordered a grilled chicken sandwich and I like on the mobile to pick up, ready in time.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a
It
breeze.
was perfect. Went back to the room. It was,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would consider it like fast food quality,
It was like Wendy's,
but who doesn't love Wendy's?
So I guess if they had that, that suggestion you came up with, would that would definitely cannibalize into moderates, huh?
Maybe not. Caribbean Beach is on the Skyliner. Coronado Springs is basically such a destination with
Yeah.
all of the bars and the insane pool there.
Yeah.
Port Orleans has its own vibe. It would really just be adding more value to the values and more revenue streams for Disney to give people options when they get back to their hotel.
Yeah.
But I would almost say part of me hopes they don't do that because I think it's going to justify for them to raise the price. And it's at such a good price right now that this is how some families are affording to go to Disney. And it's nice after us staying there to know that they're still getting basically this exact same Disney experience. Maybe just like one or two little things that they can just go to another resort for, like a dinner.
We ended up microwaving frozen pizzas.
So the big complaint about the All-Star Sports, the only complaint that I factor in as legitimate.
Yeah.
Every time we were at the parks later in the day, there was a significant wait for our bus, and it was only All-Star Sports that this affected.
Wow. Not music or
So one evening,
movies?
the evening we were leaving Magic Kingdom, it was raining. We were under the overhang, thank God.
Like 8:00, right?
It was like 8:00. We didn't get on a bus until about 8:50, and it was All-Star Movies bus.
You just walked back to.
No, we
And
Ubered.
we Ubered from All-Star
wow.
Movies back to our place.
you have to Uber. It's that far, huh? Well, I guess it was raining.
It was raining. It would have been about a 20-something minute walk.
okay.
Yeah, because the resorts themselves are so big. Like the All-Star resorts are huge.
Yeah.
Just one sports is huge, and then, it would probably be a.
Also, it was
considerable-
sports is the first one, and movies was the last one. Music's the one in the middle.
Oh, okay, that's also
okay.
true.
Yeah, and it was also frustrating because we saw at least 2 times as we were waiting, like 2 buses for each music and movies come and go as we're waiting. for our
Multiple
one
buses from
sport.
multiple resorts coming and going, and we're like, "What is going on?"
Yeah, that's got to
And
be
it
a
happened-
failure of something.
It happened to us leaving. The 2 latest times we left Springs late and we left Magic Kingdom late. Both days, really long waits.
Well, that's progress for you.
It was also very sweet because they left us a little basket too, like for our honeymoon. So we got some treats and a pen, a magnet,
This is honeymoon 2 of several, actually.
two of question mark.
Was everything dusty? This is their honeymoon basket. They haven't been able to give one away in a long time.
But they did such a good job. I thought that someone called the resort.
He's
and had
calling
it
our
done.
friends to
Well,
be like,
you
"Did
can
you
do that.
send
They do.
us-"
You can
Yeah.
do that. Yeah.
Because it was so tailored to what we like.
Damn, we should have done that.
Yeah.
Sean,
So there was, it was a bride and groom pin
Oh, perfect. Sam
Right.
loves pins.
I do.
and a magnet for the All-Star Resorts.
Oh, wow.
Did you wear I'm celebrating pins?
I did. She made me take them off at some point.
And I'll tell you why. Because we went and met Daisy Duck at Animal Kingdom. And because we were wearing the pins, people kept thinking we just got engaged and not honeymoon, even though it said honeymoon. So all the photos started being like, show us your ring.
Oh, yeah.
Point here to the. And I was like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
want a nice photo of us in front of whatever. I don't want to constantly be like, show your ring.
They think you got engaged a half hour ago.
At
Yeah.
Disney, which is fine. Just we've been engaged for we're married, but we got engaged over 2 years ago. So as soon as that photo shoot happened, I said, take off your pin. And,
No,
we
that
did.
makes sense. Yeah.
But
But put it back on and go to the restaurant so we get the free glass of champagne.
That's right. We ended up not wearing it again, but when we went to our nice honeymoon dinner, a gentleman in the Grand Floridian, the manager, Jay said it was our honeymoon, and he did a little photo shoot for us with a sign in the gift shop.
Nice.
But it was sweet, yeah. But I agree, Andrew. It was. We were like, are they just rolling out the red carpet because not many people are like, here we should go on our honeymoon. The All-Stars.
Sports.
But we did, and
It was very romantic.
it was great. It was yes, and it was just I have no issues going there again. I think I would like to try somewhere else just because I've only ever been to All-Star Sports as an adult, or we stayed at the Grove, which is off property when we went.
Yeah,
So I'd like to try something different next time.
I'm definitely on the boat of trying something different, but if you're someone that's maybe on the fence about, oh, should I even go if I can't afford a deluxe or whatever, go. I would say go for it. And honestly, also, like, if you're saying like, oh, I could spend more money on the hotel room or spend more money in the parks, I would still vote for spend more money in the parks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, if you were deciding between a moderate or a value, and staying at the moderate meant you were going to have to like not do the lightning lanes you wanted to do, or not have a nice sit down dinner while you're on vacation, I would say stay at the value and do this other stuff. You're going to get more enjoyment out of the stuff you can do in the parks.
Yep.
Yeah, and Disney gets their money either way.
Right.
So they don't mind.
Right,
that.
it's the same money. You're either going to get it from the they're either going to get it up front at the hotel, or they're going to get it while you're on the trip.
Yeah. Right.
And even if it's not about affording it, if it's like us, you're in the park every day, you're not at the resort that much. Why would you spend the extra money? Just stay at the All-Star. It's just as nice.
If you're not specifically planning to have a resort day focused on being at the resort,
Yep.
yeah, I feel like it's a no-brainer to just go with the values.
I give it a solid 9 out of 10.
Or utilize the close location to the docks to the parks, right?
Yeah.
Like if you need to or want to leave the park and go back to your room for some reason. But you guys took breaks and went back to the hotel, right? And it worked out well.
Two of the days, yeah. We ended up just leaving early and we went back and...
Yeah, every time we left for the day. We didn't go back to the parks.
Okay.
We went to another resort. We went to another resort.
Yeah, both times we left early, we ended up going to a resort in the evening, a different resort. We resort hopped.
Oh, where'd you go?
So the first day we left early, we went to the Polynesian. We went to, we put our name in at Trader Sam's. We went to Waialulu. And then, earmuffs, Sean, we took the DVC tour.
Yes.
I'm not against the DVC. I don't know where that opinion is coming from.
And this is my last official takeaway. DVC is worth it. If we had already been homeowners while we were on that trip, we would have possibly done it right then and there.
Wow.
Yeah. And as someone who went in saying, you're out of your mind, we're not doing DVC, I don't know if I just learned more about it or Luis was that good of a salesman, but I left saying, there's a very high possibility we will be purchasing DVC.
They're probably the best salespeople in the world.
Like, really, he was phenomenal, and it just made a lot of sense. I will say that I think a hot take I have, or maybe it's not a hot take, but just something, I don't think Trader Sam's was worth that wait.
3 hours is a long
3 hours was a long
That's
time.
a long wait. Yeah.
I think the staff, and I don't blame them, they definitely weren't that into it. I ordered 2 drinks that should have had scenes. They just blatantly did not do the scenes.
Didn't do anything, and
I understand why. Like, doing that for 8 hours on end seems like
the vindication he's trying so hard not to let out right now is he can't control himself.
She saw all the tricks, but they didn't
do it for her.
No, 3 hours isn't worth it. I don't think anything.
It was
is
3.5
worth
hours.
Yeah,
It was 3.5 hours.
You get out.
We
You
were on
get,
the
you get in
DVC
and out of a baseball game in under 3.5 hours.
We were on
Right.
the DVC tour, and to be fair, I had a lot of questions. I think Jay was very surprised that I feel like I was
She got into it.
so into it. We were on that tour for 2 hours.
Wow, that's a long time.
And we
Did
had
you get $200?
So it's $50 a person. So the reason you guys got 200 is there was four of you. So we got, even though you guys were already technically DVC like holders, they probably just marked you as 4 people.
a group of 4
we got
people.
$100.
We got
$100.
50 bucks a person, which was great.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so
It was
good.
still, I think, still worth it, and we learned a lot. And those tower rooms are really nice.
He's just happy that now it's in the realm of possibility for our future.
Is there a resale contract at the Animal Kingdom Lodge for 100 points a year that I have earmarked? I don't know. That could be anybody's tab.
with the one of the highest dues because of those animals, but it's fine.
But they aren't that bad. And also at $100 a point, it was more than half of what we would have been buying from Polynesian.
Yeah.
Is a resale contract probably in my near future?
Yeah.
It depends on how things go. If the home buying process goes well, we'll have to really consider it.
I think resale makes so much sense for if you're not going to utilize the annual pass.
Right.
That's huge, right? And B, if you are not set up like Emily and I have our house, that's going to be our house, right? We're we're kind of at that place where we know we're going to be going to Disney. Like we're fanatics about it for the next,
right
until the 66th. So I'm thinking into the 2060s of what I want my points to do for me then, right? But if you just want to, like, for the next 10 to 15 years or 20 years, be able to go to Disney every year, resale contract is great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's definitely what we would do, especially because I wouldn't mind going once a year, but it's nice to know we can push points ahead, pull them.
Yep.
So we can go once every 2-3 years for
do it
2
up.
weeks,
Do
do
it
a big
up.
trip
Yeah.
with family.
Yeah,
And
you can go every other year and have a really great trip
I think
with
that's what-
200 points.
Yeah, I think that's what we would. That's what I would lean towards doing.
Or you do a short trip. Maybe you just do like a long weekend, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Where you do a few days one year, and then the next year you do a big trip.
Or you do a big trip, but it's a split stay of you do
Universal.
or a value, right? So you stay at the value for when you're going into the parks and you're just doing parks, and when you want to do more resort days, then you stay using your DVC points at a deluxe.
Yeah, I totally see that as a big advantage. I do see it's worth it. Maybe by the time the Lakeside Lodge opens,
For a moment, I thought you were going to say by the time this podcast comes out.
Well, let's not get
Maybe we should do a 3-part episode talking about the DVC.
Oh, Luis.
Can you insert the calm down, Rover? I was only kidding.
Calm down, Rover. I was only kidding.
Okay, so that wraps up the basics of the stay, right?
Yes,
Okay.
sure.
That was
2 hours.
a nice brisk conversation.
Jesus.
So I do have some food takeaways.
I do as well.
Okay.
Do we agree on our number one bite of the trip?
Ooh, number one bite.
I've got 3 things that I would classify as the bite of the trip.
That's a no.
So no. But I do believe that my favorite bite might be yours, and that is the ham and cheese pretzel bread from the
Germany Pavilion?
The Germany booth.
Absolutely.
It was a booth that it was for Flower and Garden. It was a pretzel bread with cheese and ham and stuff, and it was incredible.
Insane. We did not expect to like it that much, and
We finished it because we shared it, and then she went, should we just go get another one?
Yeah.
And we didn't. We're like, but we just started. We're like, we got so much more food to eat.
But that was your favorite one.
it was amazing.
It was so good. I hope they
So
bring it
good.
back every year. And I will continue to go to Flower and Garden every year to
get that.
to get it.
Is Flower and Garden on when you go?
Yes, it was.
It's every spring, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
The food was pretty good to very good overall. I found a bunch of places that I'd be very happy to recommend, and new in-park favorites and at-resort favorites. and stuff I'll be looking forward to returning to. So it was really great, food wise for us.
Who are those favorites?
New Disney Spring restaurant favorite, Summer House.
Oh, Summer House.
My new overall restaurant, I think, is Citricos now. I don't know if you agree with that.
It was good, but I'd be interested in trying other places. I think I think it was very good. I think parts of my meal I loved and other parts just were a little bit of a mess.
Your main was the weakest thing we ate.
I know, which was frustrating. It was very good. It was chicken, and then it had like orange glazed hush puppies and like some summer squash, but it was just like the vegetables and the sides were just so dry. It just kind of wasn't great. The rest of it was delicious.
Everything else we ate. Her salad was great. My starter was one of the best things I ate the whole trip. It was a Key West pink shrimp and octopus wakaina.
Ooh.
So it was like this. It was in a sauce. It was a little bowl, and it had a little like corn thing underneath. It was really good.
Do you have wakaina spelt phonetically?
Yes. Yeah, thank God he didn't have to say that.
Because I just when we were at the restaurant, like the thing like you couldn't say it, so the fact that you just breezed by it, it's like there's no way he didn't spell that out.
It's called being thorough.
Alrighty.
Wow. I'm a professional. I don't know if you're aware of this. Promo code Reedy Geeks works in dozens of places. It doesn't.
It's not. One of my favorite bites was actually, it's an exclusive at the All-Star Resorts. It is a peanut butter and jelly croissant.
Oh, yeah.
Insane.
Really?
It was so good.
It is a raspberry like shell on it, and then it is just stuffed to the brim with like a peanut butter mousse.
Oh.
So good. Before we get to it, the ice cream sandwich in France.
Oh, yes.
Here's where I think it went awry.
Oh, no.
So we order the sandwich and we order the apple crumble because I heard that was the best flavor from everyone who went on your trip.
Okay.
That was like the one we should try. So I order it. The poor gentleman who's trying, I actually got a video of one of the times. He starts to make it. The caramel, the lid of the caramel falls off and goes everywhere.
The squeeze bottle.
Everywhere.
The top of it falls off and just pools of caramel.
So he goes, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Moves this to the other side. Does it? It happens again with a new thing of caramel. 2
times in a row.
So now he's so flustered. We think he ended up doing the salted
scooped the
caramel.
Wrong flavor. So it was caramel ice cream with caramel in it, and it was just one note.
It was just okay. Like we were eating it, I was like, I don't get
it was
hype.
good, but it was like overhyped.
Yeah. So I think if we got the right flavor, we would have loved it. But unfortunately, I would be willing though to go back and try a different flavor.
I will try it again. I will give it a second try because I do think the guy got flustered and scooped the wrong flavor.
And the concept though of like this heated...
I loved the warm and the cold.
Yeah.
The bread was really nice. But also I would be willing to go with a larger group and trying it on the macaroon. Another new food that was really great from the Trolley Car Cafe, aka the Starbucks in Hollywood Studios.
Okay.
Yes.
There is a carrot cake whoopie pie, which is now appropriately named. It used to be called the carrot cake cookie.
And I'm gonna give a shout out to my Reedy gals because we are, as you've heard on the podcast, we're all for a little drinky drink and a treat. So I stopped Jay in the middle of our Hollywood Studios day and said, I need a coffee or I'm not gonna function. I went to Starbucks. I saw it in the case and I said, I feel like I saw this on TikTok that it was good. So I bought it.
TikTok did not steer us
wrong.
It
was incredible.
Really?
Like, it was
the best dessert we had all trip, and we had an amazing dessert at Citrico's,
you
a
have
signature
to try
restaurant.
it next time. I think it was.
If you like carrot cake, if you like carrot cake, if you like cream cheese frosting,
yeah,
definitely get it the next time.
One, it's huge. Like you could easily split between 3 people.
Yeah.
If you don't want to share it, it's only like $6. Like and it's huge.
So throw out what you don't finish.
Yeah,
it's only $6.
Right.
Sure.
I'm gonna take one bite and throw out the whole rest.
That's right. He said the Reedy Geeks said this was okay.
So loved that. Magic Kingdom, I would say Gaston's. We tried the creme brulee croissant and the ham and Gruyere flatbread. We split that for lunch.
Yes,
that was solid.
Both of those were pretty good.
I
would say Magic Kingdom can, again, we already said this on this episode, that Magic Kingdom can be a little tough food wise to get away from just like overwhelming amounts of sweets and stuff. That ham and cheese tart is at least something savory that's different. It's very different from what everything else at that park.
Yeah.
Very similar to the cheeseburger spring rolls, where it's like, oh, this is different, and it's quick, and it's right there.
It's not a hot dog.
And it's
not
not
a
a
hot
hot
dog.
dog, and it's not chicken tenders.
And
you
it
know?
was a great size. It came with a bag of chips, so I think, and it was like priced appropriately for Magic Kingdom.
Everything was great.
Loved Nomad Lounge.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Love
the
Nomad
Reedy
Do you
Geeks.
think it's the best bar in Disney World?
So I personally didn't drink there. Jay did. He had 2 of the drinks.
I had 2 drinks.
Loved it.
I love both of them. If we do a drink bracket, the Tempting Tigress from the Nomad Lounge
Number 1 seed.
would be a heavy favorite.
Yeah.
The way we did seating, a bottle of water for a gift shop would be the number 1 seed.
The number 1 seed is the bottle of Captain Morgan you can buy from the All Star Sports.
Great value.
Sundries.
Great value.
I think, and Jay he drank, I don't want to say a lot, but you had a good amount of drinks on the trip. I would say the 2 best that you had that I don't think you'd agree with me. Well, I had the frozen Irish Viking coffee was great. But
Oh,
the
it's great.
2 that he had that I loved was a sour at America.
The Moonshine Sour.
It's delicious.
We had that last time we were there.
Is that so good?
Very
Yeah.
good, very sweet though. You gotta like sweet to like it.
I
but
like sweet.
It
I don't
was-
like sweet. I liked it.
It was very good. And
Well,
then
because maybe it's just because it's blackberry that
Yeah,
that
I
it
do
wasn't
like
like
blackberry.
it was tart too. It was
there
very
was
good.
Yeah, it was almost so sweet it was tart.
And the second one was from the African Outpost.
This was my surprise sleeper hit in the drinks department. It's called the Elephant something, and it's basically a Coke Slurpee with some sort of an African vanilla flavored rum.
I've never seen that. Though.
And it was really good.
Nice.
It tasted like a vanilla Coke Slurpee. It was excellent, especially on the hot day, and it was frozen enough that it stayed frozen, unlike my Grand Marnier slush, which still top tier.
Yeah.
Still an elite drink in the World Showcase.
I'm going to definitely get that when we go down.
It's nice. It's a nice change of pace.
Overall, it was a
Really great trip.
And there were a few moments where we were like, this would be a lot of fun if we had the Reedy Geeks, Reedy Gals, plus Pat. Go down. Good to throw them in.
Company trip.
A company
Trip.
Do you want to share what we thought was the worst bite of the trip? I don't know if this is consensus, but this is mine.
I know what yours is, and I don't technically agree.
You don't technically agree. Maybe it's different.
Is yours the breakfast sandwich?
Nope. It was
Tell
a
me, because
sweet.
maybe it's... Oh, yeah, I got it. I agree.
Okay, so the worst bite of the trip is something that really should be an iconic treat in the Magic Kingdom. Tiana's beignets.
Yeah, they're not that great. They're good. They're like, okay, but...
That was the worst thing we ate the whole trip. Was
And they're
Tiana's
still
beignets.
good.
And
Like,
they
they're
were
still fine.
Yeah, they were fine. But they actually aren't what I think of when I think of a beignet. They were too
Zeppeli.
crunchy.
I have a question for you. Did you do a buyback? Or not a buyback. Did you do a bounce back? Did you do a bounce back?
I
What
looked
is
at the
that?
I looked at the bounce back offers because they're actually just on your phone in the MDE app now.
Yeah.
And honestly, they're really not better than what the summer program is right
Yeah.
now.
I mean, it's unprecedented what the discounts they're getting right now.
But I was thinking, like, could you imagine if they gave you 10% off of the program that they're doing?
Right.
But they're not.
They're not.
They're not. They're just giving you a blanket 35%, which is actually more expensive, but it's for the whole year.
Yeah. And is it 35% off of the value resorts?
So All Star Sports was coming up at $135 before tax, and I believe when we booked it was $148 before tax.
Okay, so it's not 35%.
But I think the standard rack rate is in the 180s for All Star Sports.
Okay. I guess locking that in for next year is pretty good because then
Right.
you know it's not going to be more expensive.
Right, it's going to be $15 a night cheaper than
Yeah.
what we did this year.
Yeah.
But we did not take advantage of that. We got a DVC contract to buy. The face my wife is giving me is one of love and admiration.
Okay.
I'd say let's play a game, but I think this is going to be the longest episode we've ever done.
I think you can cut a bunch out.
All right, Sean, do you want to take us out?
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Reedy Geeks podcast. Like, rate, and subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Any questions, comments, concerns, future titles, nicknames, or episode topic ideas, email us at reedygeeks@gmail.com and check us out on all our socials at Reedy Geeks. We'll see you next time.
Well, it could be worse. We could be stuck in the audience.
This week's Honest Send-Off comes courtesy of Statler and Waldorf from The Bow. If you have an honest send-off that you want played at the end of one of our episodes, please submit an audio clip to us via our email address, reedygeeks@gmail.com. Reedy Geeks, a Walt Disney World podcast, is hosted and executive produced by Andrew Shopey, Sean Murphy, and JJ Hefner. Music and audio engineering by JJ Hefner.
Bon voyage.